how can
Agreed.
individuals monetize their content?
Before we even go into monetizing, as a creator, it's not just about posting online. You have to position yourself as a problem solver in order for you to be able to gain some momentum online. And if you're not positioning yourself or being strategic about how you're posting online, then it will be difficult for you to monetize. We have to be able to build some community and trust around ourselves or our brands, and it will be easier for us to be able to make money online.
This episode was recorded on riverside.fm. Log on today to start your own podcasting journey. Hello, Sharine. How are you doing?
Hi, I'm good.
Great to hear. Great to hear. I'm very happy to have you on. This has been a long time coming. And it's good to
Yes.
actually, finally put a recording out with the two of us. So it's very good to have you. I know you, I think pretty well, but I would like you to introduce yourself to my audience.
Okay, so my name is Sharine Joseph. I am the owner of Blue Media Marketing and Blue Media Prints. We're a social media marketing and consultancy business, and we help business owners get online and stay trending. I have been doing marketing for a very long time, probably almost my age, but about 10 years or probably a little more than that. But my business has only been in operation for about 7 years. I am known for I am known as the girl who usually is online on social media giving marketing tips
Right.
and posting about these types of things, but we do much more than just social media. We do marketing consultations, we do content creation, we do reviews. We also have a line of ebooks that we offer. We have marketing templates. So we do mobile videography training, Canva training. So we're in a lot of spaces, but a lot of people just know us for being like on Instagram.
Got you. Yeah, I didn't even know that you guys did so much, and I guess that's where we're going to take the conversation. So let's begin. So what inspired you to pursue a career in this field, digital marketing and social media consulting?
Okay, so I had been in the media for a long
Okay.
time. When I first started in media, I used to look for IBAS radio. So I don't know if you've ever heard of IBAS radio, but that was a radio station like for a long time ago.
Yeah.
And I used to do sales and marketing for them and reaching out to a lot of the businesses, especially small businesses, about advertising at the radio station. When I asked them, that's around the time like Facebook had just started getting popular.
Okay.
And I used to ask them, "Hey, are you on Facebook?" And they're like, "No, I don't know how to navigate Facebook. I don't know how to operate Facebook. I'm not on Facebook and stuff." And then I realized that majority of the businesses that I was working with, they were not online.
Mm-hmm.
And I said, let me start a business offering social media marketing to these businesses. And that is how Blue Media Marketing was born. So that in addition to the fact that I love helping people, that has been the catalyst for how Blue Media Marketing was formed. Um, and then I wanted to focus a lot on the smaller businesses because they were the ones that were struggling to get themselves out there. And I figured being online would be another medium for them to be able to market their products and services. So that is how I got inspired to start Blue Media Marketing.
For sure. So I'm seeing that you saw a gap and you decided to fill it.
Pretty much.
Got you. And I always discover that all the best businesses, the most thriving businesses are those which fill the gap, because obviously the market must want what you're selling, right?
Exactly.
All right, that's pretty interesting. So then, how did growing up in St. Lucia influence your storytelling and your branding? Because I know, for example, a digital marketer who grew up or lives in the United States or is only dealing with the United States market might market differently than St. Lucians. So did growing up in St. Lucia influence you in that regard as well?
Yes, it does, because traveling to the US, the way they do marketing over there versus here, we in the Caribbean have much more flavor with
Okay.
our marketing, I will say. Especially in graphics designing, we have much more flavor. So I would say being in St. Lucia, it's the culture, it's the fact that we Caribbean people always make things more vibrant. We add more flavor and authenticity
Hmm.
to our marketing, and I think that's what basically derives the creativity for my type of marketing. Also, we're very community driven.
Hmm.
I mean, we work together. We like to work together. We kind of like a community, and we look out for each other, and that helps a lot with coming up with really creative ideas when it comes to marketing. So I do say that, being in the Caribbean, or being from St. Lucia in particular, has been very instrumental with the way I do marketing, because when I worked with a US company sometime in 2023,
Hmm.
their marketing was like totally different from what I was accustomed to being in St. Lucia. And I basically had to try to adapt to their form of marketing and teach them certain things that would help with their business as well. So I would definitely say, coming from the Caribbean, it makes it more like you have more of a vibe. The marketing is more of a vibe, to be honest.
Got you. So, would you say that is really unique to the Caribbean? Is it that what makes us stand out on the global stage, or do you think like maybe other regions, maybe the Latin American region or other regions have something similar, or are we just unique?
I would say the Caribbean, Latin America, like once you see
Hmm.
marketing, you can tell, well, hey, this is from this person, or there must be a Caribbean person on the team. This has to be from the Caribbean, because it's just like a totally different thing. I watch some of these ads from some of these major brands, and I'm always saying, like, there has to be somebody with some Caribbean descent on these panels or on these teams,
Hmm.
because generally, I'm not saying that their marketing isn't good. That's not what I'm saying, but I'm just saying generally, they just don't bring the type of flavor and vibe that we have
Right.
when it comes to their marketing. But their marketing do sell.
Hmm.
It's just that it depends on the audience. And a prime example is, when I do my marketing, I do not use, I try to use people that look like Caribbean people in my
Yes.
marketing. I will not create a flyer or have a video and it has somebody that doesn't look like us in it, because it's not going to resonate with
Hmm.
our audience. So I mean, their marketing would be for their audiences, so they curate it in a way that feels good for their audiences. Likewise, for Caribbean people, we have to try as much as possible to use our own in our marketing, and this is the way that our audiences can connect with the message that we're trying to convey.
For sure. But that is sometimes difficult, because for example, if you look for stock photos of black people, just black people, not necessarily Caribbean people, but black people, it's so hard to come by, and when I try to edit or do something myself, that is always difficult to come by. I guess we probably, as marketers, as storytellers, we need to do more of that, to put it out there so that we have a deeper pool to pull from, because it's very difficult to get that naturally online.
Exactly. And let me put you on to a little secret. We as Caribbean people can actually sell our content on these platforms, on iStock, on all of these different stock platforms. So we can make our content available for other Caribbean creators who are looking to include more Caribbean people in their marketing. That is something that is available to all of us. We can do that. Yes, it is very, very difficult to get like our own race on these stock platforms. But what I'm realizing now, a lot of these platforms like iStock are starting to have more Caribbean content. They're starting to have more um, darker persons
Hmm.
in their stuff, and there are also free stock websites that also include a majority darker people.
Okay.
So we're getting there. It's not like, it's not going to happen overnight, but we as Caribbean people can contribute towards populating these sites with our content and get paid for it.
For sure. For sure. All right, so it's due for a short commercial break. We'll be right back with Sharine after these messages.
Creating videos can be tough, but it doesn't have to be. Let me show you how Veed makes it easy in just 3 steps. Step 1. Upload your video to Veed's platform. It's as simple as drag and drop, no tech skills needed. Step 2. Edit your video with powerful tools. Add text, music, and effects to make it pop. Step 3. Export your masterpiece in seconds. Share it with the world and watch your creativity shine. Want to try it out? Use code VEED20 for a discount. Stop stressing and start creating with Veed today.
All
So,
right.
welcome back to the Game Changers podcast. I'm here with my guest Sharine, and she's giving us, the ones and twos and everything about marketing in the Caribbean context in particular. All right, so Sharine, we spoke about how growing up in St. Lucia really influenced your marketing. But what are some of the most effective ways that Caribbean digital marketers like yourself and maybe even social media consultants as well can monetize their work online? Because there are a lot of questions as to how we can actually make money online, right? That is, I think there's a
Mm-hmm.
whole niche that hasn't really been tapped into in terms of Caribbean content creators, because sometimes we feel stuck. We produce some
Mm-hmm.
amazing content, we get so many likes and shares on social media, and we get nothing for it. How can
Agreed.
individuals monetize their content?
Okay, so before we even go into monetizing,
Hmm.
yeah, so let me just start by saying, as a creator, it's not just about posting online and stuff. You have to position yourself as a problem solver in order for you to be able to gain some momentum
Hmm.
online. Yeah. And if you're not positioning yourself or being strategic about how you're posting online, then it will be difficult for you to monetize. We already have the disadvantage of not having access to a lot of the monetization tools on the
Right.
platforms. So we have to be able to build some community and trust around ourselves or our brands if we have that, and in that way it will be easier for us to be able to make money online through one consultations. You can be a consultant. Consultants make a lot of money. I make good money being a consultant. Okay. You can get your brand partnerships. So even if you're posting online and you're getting all of these views and you're like, mama, I can even monetize
Right.
that on these platforms, the brands are
Hmm.
watching. They're seeing everything that you're doing. They're seeing how much engagement you're getting. They're seeing how far your content reaches, and this can land you a brand deal, which is something that you get paid on a monthly basis for. That's residual income one time. So, and then you have just the those for these Caribbean creators who are not in St. Lucia right now. You can make money off of all of the platforms: Facebook, Instagram, TikTok. Being in St. Lucia, I have made money off of TikTok. I have my ways of getting around things,
Right.
but I have made money off of TikTok. But generally, if you don't have access to these monetization tools, you can do digital products. So
Hmm.
you can do your ebooks. I do make money off of my ebooks. You can do templates, you can do journals. Like, there are a whole bunch of stuff you can do that you can sell online to make money. So it don't necessarily have to be you getting paid from the platforms,
Hmm.
but you can use the platforms as a vehicle for you to be able to make money in other ways.
Got you. So then, so far, which platforms have you found most impactful in that regard, in terms of helping content creators share their stories, one, but also monetize
Mhm.
it?
Okay. I will start by saying, when I started my business, I was on Instagram. So Instagram has made me a lot of money,
Okay.
I will say, because I started my business on Instagram. I grew on Instagram and stuff. These days I don't really use Instagram as much
Hmm.
because I find um the impact that Instagram used to have before, it doesn't have it anymore.
Got you.
So yeah, Instagram is still a very good platform to be able to monetize and market your business
Mm-hmm.
on. But I have shifted more into the TikTok era because I find TikTok helps you to be able to reach a wider audience.
Right.
I've been able to market a lot of businesses, help them drive sales and grow through using my TikTok platform. So for me, it has been one of the most effective ways to get a message out there.
Mm-hmm.
Also, Facebook is also good. I mean, it all depends on who your audience is, I would say. Your audience is on different platforms, and you just have to find where your audience is, and you come there and you make sure they can buy whatever you're selling. That's what I would say. But all of the platforms are effective in their own ways. It all depends on who you're trying to market to. So for me, with TikTok, I more or less post a lot of food content, a lot of Airbnbs and stuff like that. That is where the persons who love that type of content are always scrolling through. So that's where I'm going to be. Likewise, if I want to do more marketing related content and stuff, I know my Instagram has a lot of small businesses. So if I want to do more serious marketing with selling my services, etc., I would definitely go to Instagram. Facebook does not have an impact on my business at all. To be honest, I only use Facebook for ads.
Okay.
But my two main platforms, I would say, would be Instagram and TikTok.
Got you. So then, how do you adapt like your strategies to fit the Caribbean market? Because I know, like you rightfully said, the way we market in the United States is different than the way we market in the Caribbean. However, these
Mhm.
platforms are US based in a lot of the cases, US based platforms. So how do you utilize those platforms but then market to a Caribbean audience?
Online, we go through all of these platforms, and you have these trends, and you have a whole bunch of stuff going on. And some most times these trends are like great ways for you to be able to improve your reach, or get more eyes on your page, etc.
Yeah.
But you have to adapt whatever they're doing to your market.
Mm-hmm.
So you have to give it that Caribbean flair. You have to give it that Caribbean vibe. You cannot just copy and paste whatever is there and take it as your own. You have to be able to how do you say this word? The
Is
word isn't coming.
is it adapt
But
to adapt to
that's not even the word I'm
okay.
looking for. But you have to, we'll use adapt.
Okay, fair.
You have to be able
Fair.
to curate these strategies to fit your audience. So it begins with knowing who your audience are.
Mm-hmm.
And I always say, before you start marketing, if you do not know who you're marketing to, you cannot market to everybody. Your business is not for everybody.
Right.
And I'm going to say this again because a lot of people think when I ask them, hey, who's your target audience? Everybody. Everybody. Your business is not for
Right.
everybody. There are always a certain niche of persons who will always buy from you.
Mm-hmm.
And there are people, while they might fit some of the criteria of what you're looking for, they may not be the ideal customers for you.
Mm-hmm.
So until you understand that, then it will be difficult for you to be able to curate your marketing to fit your target audience. And I feel like a lot of businesses struggle online because they want to jump on every trend, they want to do all of these things, and it's not fitting for their brand. So even if you see something happening, because I do take a lot of inspiration from a lot of these American trends
Mm-hmm.
online, and I just make it my own. Or I just have my clients adapt it to whatever they to fit their brand. So I would say it's timing, it's adapting to, or changing the strategies to fit your culture and your target audience. And I think like you can take inspiration from anywhere. It just has to be fitting for who you're marketing for.
Got you. Got you. So once it aligns with your end goal, then it
Hmm.
works, right?
It works. It would work for you, definitely.
Got you. Got you. All right. So with you for our second break, and we'll be back with more Sharine Joseph when we come back. Bruh, people keep asking me, how do I get into this podcast space? How do I actually get into podcasting? But it's so easy. I don't know why you guys are overcomplicating it. All you need is a browser and riverside.fm. It's that simple. This tool is designed to simplify high quality video and audio online. Whether you're doing interviews for your startup, doing a live webinar, or just need some talking head clips, it records everything locally. It means that even if your internet lags, you get smooth video quality at 4K and smooth audio as well. Plus, it turns your long form episodes into short clips that you can share across social media. If you want to start podcasting or record it online like a pro, click the link down below. All right, so we're back with Sharine, and you were telling us just before the break about your whole marketing ideas and your whole strategies. But I know that you would have run into some challenges along the way, right? It's, I mean,
For sure.
any business, building any business, there are challenges. So tell me some of the biggest challenges, or maybe the biggest challenge, if you can think of one, that you faced in your career so far.
I mean, I've faced a lot of challenges,
Mm-hmm.
but it's not even about the challenges, it's how you go past these challenges or how you extract the lessons out of these challenges. So for example, there was one campaign that I was running with a skincare company, and we had done months of marketing. We set up an entire campaign. We did everything we were supposed to be doing. But at the end of the day, they generated absolutely no sales.
Wow.
Like zero, like zilch, right? And we were trying to figure out like what was wrong. So we went through everything. We checked the stats. We did everything. We do all of the content. We went through the content and everything. And then one of the biggest lessons I got out of this was that, and I keep telling a lot of people that after I learned this lesson, it's you can do all of the marketing in the world. Your marketing can be amazing, but if your sales funnel is broken,
Mm-hmm.
then you will not make any money.
Mm-hmm.
You can spend thousands of marketing, you can have the best marketers in the world. But if there is not a clear way for your customers to be able to purchase what you're selling, if when they try to buy your product, they have to jump through 10,000 hurdles for them to be able to get what they want, you will not make money.
Mm-hmm.
And then we noticed that the sales funnel was broken. And I don't mean physically broken,
Yeah,
but the mediums for customers to be able to purchase was not a straightforward thing. And that this ultimately affected their sales. And I mean, a lot of people knew about the products, they whatever, but they complained that it was difficult because when I went back and I started speaking to people and asking questions, and I realized that it was an issue with them just trying to buy the product, and it was difficult for them to get access
mm-hmm.
to the products. So this taught me a very valuable lesson. I always tell people every department in your business goes hand in hand. Don't believe that because you're paying for marketing and you're doing so much marketing and you're not doing the rest of the things that you're supposed to be doing, the marketing is supposed to make you make money. No. The marketing is supposed to drive awareness and attention to whatever you want to be sold.
Yep.
But you need to make these products available for people, make it easy for people to be able to just click and buy, go collect and buy. If people have to do more than that, they will not buy from you.
For sure.
They just won't go through the stress when there are millions of other brands close similar to yours that they can be choosing with, and these other brands make it so much easier for them to get access to the products. So every department goes hand in hand. It's not okay, marketing not doing their job or whatever, because if marketing is doing their job and sales is not doing their job, or if marketing is doing their job and the product development department isn't doing their job, then we're going to have
For sure.
problems.
And I often say, you can't communicate away bad service because, and people expect
Exactly.
communicators or marketers or sales teams just to, kind of communicate to the customer for them. And then when they get
Mm-hmm.
to the door, or when they get, online, on the online store, the customer has a bad experience. If the customer has a bad experience, then there's no amount of marketing or branding you can do to give them a better experience, right? So like
Exactly.
you say, and I agree with you 100%, it's very important that people work hand in hand when it comes to marketing, right?
Yes, definitely. Definitely.
For sure. All right, so then I know that you constantly find yourself staying ahead of digital trends. How is that possible? How do you find a trend and stay ahead of it?
A lot of research. I love reading.
Okay.
I read a lot. I love tech.
Okay.
Okay, I love tech, and because of my love for tech, I'm always reading about new stuff. I always try to make sure I keep abreast with what's happening with the platforms, what is new, even with tech, because I like my little gadgets, so I like to read up on what's happening in the tech field and stuff. So I always try to keep myself abreast with everything marketing related, online related and stuff. So that's just a regular thing for me. In addition to that, education is important, so I try my best to do at least 3 courses every year relating to digital marketing, social media, and also something new, a new skill. So I try my best to learn a new skill. Another thing is I have mentors, and they have been very instrumental in how I keep abreast with stuff, because sometimes I may not know something and they will say, hey, whatever. And especially the bodega. Shout out to the bodega, because they've been keeping me on my toes. Even if I am not always participating in the discussions, I do see a lot of the stuff that pops up, and they always share that information, which is very, very good for me keeping my eye on certain things. But that's basically what I do. I always make sure up I am knowledgeable about all of that, because I mean, knowledge is power, and if you don't always educate yourself, you stay behind, you get left behind. We're already in the AI era. How many people actually know how to write a correct prompt? How
Hmm.
many people know how to use ChatGPT and Claude to their advantages? There's a lot to learn. There's always a lot to learn, and if you're not constantly learning, you're going to be left
For
behind,
sure.
sadly.
For sure. Sadly, indeed. All right. So I'm hearing that there's a lot of work that happens behind the scenes that a lot of people don't know. You work behind the scenes and you get stuff done. So when people are paying you for your service, it's not just they're not just paying you for what you're doing now, but they're also paying you for all the research, all the work that you have been doing quietly when nobody's around, so that you can be the expert at your job.
Exactly. I plan to be the Google of marketing in St. Lucia, because people literally call me for everything, like
Yeah.
every single thing. So
Well,
already.
I might become the Google of podcasting, because it happens to me as well when it comes to podcasting. So
Period.
all right. So okay, now I know the job that you do can be taxing and difficult. How do you stay away from maybe creative burnout?
Oh my god. I will say I'm not a superwoman. I have had burnout more than once. But it's about planning.
Mhm.
Planning is the first thing. You need to be organized. In this field, there is no room for you not to plan and not be organized. The minute you slip up is when you're in trouble.
Right.
So I do a lot of planning, I do a lot of organizing. Google Calendar is my best friend. Google is literally my best friend. um I do I didn't used to take breaks before. I worked for 7 years straight with no breaks, no vacation, nothing.
Wow.
And then I realized that it was demotivating me, and I was suffering from burnout, a lot of burnout. And I just decided that I realized that in between all of the things that I'm doing, it is great to take a rest. I mean, the business is not going to fall apart if you take a rest.
Right.
If you take a day off, if you take a few days off, it's not going to fall apart. Your customers will still be there. Everything will still be there, but you need to take care of you first in order for you to be very productive. So I learned that the hard way. So from then on, I've been taking some time. So I take breaks. I stop posting. I stop creating content. I stop doing all of these things, and I just focus. And sometimes when you take breaks and you focus, this is when you're your most creative,
It's true.
because your brain is clear and you can think of so many ways that you could have been doing stuff that would be much better for your business. So that has been how I've been able to keep up with everything. I like to plan things in advance. I like to schedule things. There is nothing called not scheduling, and people keep telling me I like to schedule too many things, but if you don't schedule, it'll be all over the place.
Yes.
So that is very important for me. um yeah, so that's how I keep up with all of this stuff. Yeah, I know I have a lot going on, but it's that, and you just pace yourself. You cannot do everything on your own. You need a team. I had to learn that one the hard way, because I like to micromanage. I don't know, I like things a certain way, and I feel like when I hire somebody, sometimes, they may not do it the way I want to do it. And I had to learn that sometimes you have to allow people to come in and help you out. It you it doesn't mean you're failing when you ask for help. It just means that you're growing. And I had to, allow people to come into my space and help me, which has been great for me because it takes a lot of pressure from you. So that has been wonderful as well.
Beautiful, beautiful. Now I know this year you did something really transformative, right? What I think it was either this year or at the back end of 2025. When did you actually launch it? You know what I'm talking
Okay,
about.
so it was supposed to be launched this year, the 17th of January. But when I started teasing it in December, because of the demand, I was like, I'm just going to release this right
All
now.
right.
Like, I was just going to do it.
So tell us what it is. Just tell us what it is. Go ahead.
So I launched my very first physical book,
Hmm.
because I've written about 3 or 4 ebooks
Okay.
prior to that. But Content That Converts is my very first physical book
Hmm.
that I launched late December last year. So this book stemmed from my burnout season. I was taking a break from social media because a lot of people who follow me, they were reaching out and saying, "Hey, did you close down the business?" And I was like, "No, I was just taking a break from online and posting because I started feeling burnt out, and I felt like I was just winging it. I was just trying to scramble for content, and every time I had to record videos, it was just a challenge
Hmm.
for me. And so I said, okay, I'm not doing this again. I'm just taking some time and just, relaxing. And then I was like, but wait, the same thing that's been happening to me has been happening to a lot of my clients and a lot of people that I've known with businesses for a very long time. The only difference is I'm only now realizing it happens to me. So I said, okay, let me write this book. Um, let me share my knowledge with and my experiences with my audiences. And the book has the 3 ways that you'll be able to generate sales online without burning out yourself. Okay. So so you have your attract content. So there are 3 different types of content you can um create to be able to generate your sales, which will not burn you out. So you have your attract content. Your attract content, basically, it's self-explanatory. You create content that attracts your audience. So your educational content, your informative content, that kind of thing. Then you have your engage content. So that's content that basically helps customers or your audiences to be able to engage with your business. So you have your how to's, you have your little recipes, you have different stuff like that, depending on the industry that you're in. And then you have your convert content, which is the content that actually is going to create whatever you're posting into an actual sale.
Hmm.
So the book has all of these types of contents. It explains it and it gives you examples of, like, real time examples of how you can curate um different content examples for your business. So it has a lot of information. And that is in line with the 80/20 rule. So the 80/20 rule on social media says that you're not your 80% of your content is supposed to be content that's educational, informative, what's the other one? Educational, informative, entertaining, in order for you to be able to engage your audience. And 20% of that content is where you actually sell a product. So that's why you see a lot of these pages, they do have actual products that they sell, but a lot of their content is based around entertaining, educating, informing people. So they build their trust. So once they post something that entails them selling something, you find a lot of the times that it sells out. So that is what that is centered around. And then you do have content ideas. It tells you about the content plan, and it breaks down everything you should be including in your content plan, how many of these types of content you're supposed to be posting for the week, and you have structure. And then it also tells you how to batch your content so you're not overwhelmed and overworked and scrambling to figure out what you're going to post today, tomorrow, for the week, etc. So it has a lot of information that will be very, very helpful for the average entrepreneur who's struggling to create content or keep up with posting content. And you do not have to post every single day for you to be successful online. You just have to show up with intention and strategy. And this is what this book is for. And you can get it on Amazon.
Beautiful, beautiful. I was about to ask you, where can we get it? So it's available on Amazon. And if anything, we'll leave the link to it down in the description so people can, when they watch this content, they can also get it for themselves as well. Right?
Yes.
Beautiful.
Yes.
All right. So we quickly wrapping up. We're coming to the end. How do you see the role of digital marketing and social media evolving in the Caribbean in the next, let's say, 5 years?
So, in the future for digital marketing, I feel like a lot of brands will switch more to more story driven content.
Mhm.
They will not be focusing a lot on visibility. If you realize now, when you message a brand or you reach out to a brand and you say, hey, can I get this for some visibility, and they always say visibility don't pay the
Right,
bills.
right.
Okay. So there will be, I'm seeing a lot of brands shifting towards more data driven decisions.
Mm.
So unless you cannot bring the facts and show me like how many customers you generated for this brand, or what you've actually done to improve the brand, a lot of businesses are not going to take you on, because as I said earlier, views don't pay the bill.
Right.
Strategy and actual paying clients is going to pay the bills. So you have to come good, and you have to come strong, and you have to show that you actually can drive people to buy something. You actually have the influence, because it's not called influencer for nothing. It's not called
Right.
influencer because you're just posting 1 2 videos online and people liking it and they sharing it. That's not influence. Influence is when you're able to make people buy stuff, when you're able to move people with your words and your actions, and they would be able to make a decision based off of what you're saying. That is what influence is. And brands are looking more closely at how they're spending their money. So obviously, they will go for somebody who has more influence in the sense of getting people to buy stuff, as opposed to you just having a following and likes and engagement, which does not convert into anything that is that is beneficial to the brand.
Got you. Got you. So it's very important, I'm hearing, and based on what you're saying, to really have, how do I say, be up with that trend. So knowing that, this is where the, not just the Caribbean market, but the international market is going, and become like what the global audience on social media might become in the future. Correct?
Yeah.
Absolutely. Absolutely. All right. So like I said, we're wrapping up. Final question for me.
Mm-hmm.
What is next for you? I know that's a tough question, but what is next for you?
Wow.
Mhm.
A lot.
Yeah.
A lot. Uh,
Mhm.
okay. So now that we've launched the Content That Converts, which is the very first physical book for me, we're going to be doing a lot this year for Blue Media Marketing. We will be at the franchising summit, We actually a sponsor of this franchising summit that Bees Connect Caribbean is
Yes,
hosting.
yes.
We yes, we're looking to do a lot more partnerships with other organizations, companies, etc. Expansion is on the horizon as well. We're also launching a new project with our sister company, Blue Media Prints. So there is a lot going on, and if you want to keep up with what we're doing, you can also follow us on socials at BLU Media Marketing 758 on Instagram, Blue Media Marketing on Facebook. My TikTok is Sharine Joseph. That's like if you love food and you want to find new Airbnb, new spots that you want to chill, that's the place to go. And yeah, I mean, I cannot really speak much of about what's happening. Like a lot is happening.
I can tell a lot is happening, right? So
Yeah.
we look forward to seeing what you produce, because I mean obviously we expect quality from you. So we look forward to seeing what you produce in the future. Sharine, I'm so happy that you came on. I want to thank you for coming on. Thank you for this engaging conversation. You know, the time really went by quickly. I didn't even realize that because we were having, such a good time speaking to each other. So I want to thank you so much for coming on, and don't be a stranger.
Thank you so much for the opportunity, and thank you so much for introducing me to your audience. And I do hope to have another discussion with you sometime in the future. Take care.
Beautiful, beautiful. All right, guys. So this has been yet another Game Changers episode. Remember to like and subscribe and share this content to somebody who might need it. Also, visit our new and improved Game Changers website where you can get your Game Changers merchandise and so much more. Also, we are starting a new initiative. If you have an event coming up, you would want to connect with Game Changers. Game Changers will be hosting live podcast sessions rather at your event. So we look forward to connecting in that regard going forward. Anyhow, see you next time. Stay hungry, and I'll see you then. Bye bye.